10 o'clock on the dot. Tick tock on the spot. Welcome to the 89th episode of the Korea podcast. I'm your host Jack, located in the beautiful city of Ulsan. Beautiful by whose standards, you might ask. On this relatively chilly Monday evening of November the 9th. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Halloween came and went, thank goodness. Last week. The Korea Podcast is a podcast about anything and everything related to living and working in South Korea. In the past, it was heavily focused on the starting of and running of Hagwons, private language schools, as well as Gomubangs, which are smaller versions of the first one. But that no longer is the case per se. I think I would like to come back to that topic at some point in time and maybe make some podcasts on that specific topic or geared towards that very topic. But for the time being, the Korea Podcast is the only podcast live that's held live on YouTube, in which you can interact with me, your host. We also do sit down occasionally and talk with some very interesting people living and working here in South Korea, or those who have been somehow connected over the years with the country. In our last podcast, I interviewed, or actually that was 2 weeks ago, I interviewed a fantastic person, Elizabeth Rice, author of a book on her life experience here in South Korea and the struggles that she went through when moving back to the United States. Hey, Taste So Good is here. Got an echo. Double mic situation. Could be. Thanks for bringing that up. Not sure why that happens occasionally. The struggles that she went through moving back to the United States. Let's see. Hey, Taste So Good is here. Okay. How is this? I think this may be better. Could be. Thanks for bringing that up. Not sure why. So auxiliary mic. All right. I don't know. I turned off one of the mics. I don't know which one. Bugger it all. Alright, too many mics hooked up, man. I gotta get myself some headphones, some proper headphones that don't include my stupid... I'm using these goofy... There's a mic on these goofy mic, the headphones, the earphones, and I guess I should get some proper headphones without a mic attached to them. So, Alright, too many mics hooked up, man. I gotta get myself some headphones, some proper headphones that don't include my stupid... Okay, tune this off. Alright, fantastic, great. Alright. Taste So Good, thank you for bringing that to my attention, man, and glad to see you here. Hope things are going well there for you. Taste So Good is a American YouTuber based out of Seul. Good channel, good content, very nice guy. We chatted a few times. Check out his channel if you're interested. Head over, Taste So Good. He does a lot of videos about food. So if you're in the Seoul area, you might be interested in checking out his channel because he provides a lot of information on where to find good eats. And he cruised down to Busan just a couple of weeks ago, I guess, a while back, and never stopped by in Ulsan to say hello, man. What's up? All right, well, nice to see you here. Today, in today's podcast, the format, I've decided to cut it down to 30 minutes. So we're going to keep the podcast nice and sweet for the time being. Anytime that a guest speaker comes on, the podcast will be longer. But for any updates or anything like, just me yapping, it's going to be 30 minutes. Just because. I think it's a lot easier to consume 30 minutes for the viewers and a lot less work for me, to be honest, because I need my beauty sleep, man. I'm so sleep deprived. I'm constantly tired. I don't remember the last time I was not. Thanks. Cool, man. Taste So Good says better. That's good, man. In today's topic, we're going to talk about US elections, Korean economy, attack that a little bit, and then we'll jump into some scandals. Thanks for the shout out. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, I spent a crazy 48 hours in Busan, did nothing but film. Beautiful, man, beautiful. Man, I wish I had the time. I try to scrounge up some times on the weekends to just do that, just film. This weekend we went out with my kids, went to the Ulsan whale folk village up here. Ulsan is known for its whaling or history of whaling in the past, and so there is like a whaling museum and there's a whaling folk village. And I also talk a little bit about the visit. Greenpeace paid a visit to Ulsan back in the day in 2005, 2006. Ulsan was trying to build a whale processing plant back then. Yeah, and Greenpeace came down and they camped themselves on the site where the processing plant was to be built, and basically said no. And they were camped out for like good 3 months, I think, or maybe longer than that. And so we'd go out and visit the guys who were working for Greenpeace. So that was like back in 2005, 2006. Cool stuff. Wish I had been into YouTube back then, because that would have been some cool content. So yeah, US elections, Korean economy. I'll talk about KAKAO. Man, KAKAO is doing fabulously well. There's some scandals. McDonald's, I heard of McDonald's. No, there's some stuff going on. Then there's some more scandals with Korea Velvet, and talk of serial killers on the loose, yo. So that's going to be all coming up. And because it is on everybody's burning mind, I guess first of all, congratulations to all those who voted for Biden. I'm sure you guys are stoked, and those who were voting for Trump. Sorry, it didn't work out for you. Personally, I don't care either way. Not my fight. And I'm too like politically handicapped to make calls on why that's important for me, which one of these candidates wins. But I guess Korea is pretty stoked about Biden winning. So let's transition here. President Moon Jae-in vowed close communication with Biden on the Korea peace press that could be crucial in facilitating North Korean denuclearization. In return, Biden is expected to ask Seoul to do more to establish alliance networks, which President Moon has been reluctant to do so for years, as seen in Seoul, Tokyo, Washington trilateral security ties, and the alliance pact to quell a rising China. What's the best possible diplomatic move for Seoul? Yeah, who knows? Some experts project repetition of former President Obama's strategic patience policy when it comes to North Korea denuclearization under the forthcoming Biden administration. I read somewhere another article that said that Biden was going to adopt the no communications with North Korea until the denuclearization. I understand why Bush cut that word down, man. Nuclearization. Denuclearization. It's a lot easier to say than denuclearization. Man, that's a tongue twister in itself. Anyway, Biden, somewhere I read an article saying that Biden made a statement that he was going to, basically he was going to refuse, he wasn't going to talk to Kim Jong-un until, he agreed to denuclearize his half of the peninsula. So we'll see how that's all gonna go down. Should be interesting. But in the meantime, the US has been asking for more contributions from Seoul in terms of spending on its defense. President Trump had reportedly asked for a 50% increase from last year's contribution, threatening to pull out US troops. It's true. President Trump was asking a lot of money from South Korea, and now the USA is asking more. Biden, or with Biden in the White House, how do you think the two countries will resolve the issue concerning the defense cost-sharing deal, which Seoul and Washington have failed to agree on this year? Yeah, good question. Let's see how that works, yeah? I'm very curious. President Moon. Here's the man himself here. By the way, this is the picture here. If you're not aware, this is the Blue House. Nice building. I I edited a video with a few people for the Hello Korea project, and one of the bits in that video was the Blue House. Beautiful building. I've never seen it myself, to be honest with you, live, but it looked good on film. In a meeting with senior secretaries at Chonghwa-dae, he said, a recent batch of economic indicators points to our... No, brother, why is this so... Okay. To our economy making a quick recovery after overcoming the hardships that have arisen thus far. If these efforts are combined to extend our success fighting the virus... I'm having a hard time reading this. My eyes are shut. And the script is tiny. Virus and also a positive fourth quarter economic trend, we will be able to see our economy recover from COVID-19's impact and get back on track by the first half of the next year. So there's a couple of articles stating that South Korea is going to recover very quickly from the downturn in economic, pounding that we took over the COVID period. At what cost? I have no idea. I was talking to David Tizard, I believe, who made a comment, about whether that's a good or a bad thing on who's going to have to pay for all that, the speedy recovery. Who's going to be paying for that? Increased taxes or what? Who knows? No idea. Again, I'm too handicapped politically handicapped to actually understand a lot of the necessities. I don't read that much. Hello, Gogi Meryoko Chepulka? Man, I have no idea. But welcome to the podcast. Kogiwa? Kogi? Me. The third quarter GDP growth rate has turned back into positive territory, showing the steepest upward trend in 10 years since the global financial crisis, he said. In particular, triple increases across the board in industrial activity. Sounds good, man. Lots of stuff is happening around Ulsan. There is S-Oil. There are contracts apparently coming into HHI. A lot more cars going to be produced, which is, that's good, right? So even prior to COVID, Ulsan itself, Ulsan is, I guess, the industrial hub of South Korea. Right? We've got petrochemical industry here. We've got the HHI headquarters, the production headquarters, that is, because the bureaucratic or the desk warmers are up in the capital, Seoul city, where so tastes so good hails from. That's where they're at. And then there's S-Oil, although S-Oil is not really a Korean company. For those who are unaware, S-Oil is a Aramco-owned, major share-owned company. So it's technically not Korean, but SK is here as well. So there you go. Country report: South Korea, November 2020. The fall of 2020 left South Korea in limbo. Who would win the U.S. presidential elections? What is this? The U.S. presidential election left us in limbo? No idea. That's what it sounds like, right? There will be an October or post-election surprise from North Korea. Blah, blah, blah. I think I had something. The pandemic continued to provide the backdrop to foreign policy debates in October. Protests. There was lots of protests going on. Killing of a South Korean official, September. I think everybody heard about that. There was an official killed by the North who was trying to escape the South, and I guess the story goes that the Fisheries and Oceans official who was trying to escape South Korea and trying to cross the border to the North had a ton of debt, and basically he was gunned down by the North, and South Korea said, nah, whatever, man, he's got a lot of debt, let him swim, let him float, we don't care. And I guess he was off duty, so to speak. He wasn't officially employed, or he wasn't working during the time of this happening. That's the story. I have no idea what the real facts are, but the story is he was off duty, trying to escape with debts in his bank, and just got blown out of the water. Yeah, man. Not a cool scenario. Okay, economy times, baby. So that's it for elections. Again, congratulations to those who voted for Biden. Sorry to those who voted for Trump. I hope everybody's happy. Biden's promising to unite everybody. Part of the speech I enjoyed was he won't see blue states or red states. He's just going to see the United States. Man, the campaigns are really, the speeches are really well written, aren't they? Like, it's grabbing, man. That's powerful. That's going to stick. Somebody's going to quote that pretty soon on KAKAO Talk, man, or on Facebook, rather. Wait and see. Mark my words, people. Yeah, we've got like 12 playbacks already. I have no idea how many people are watching. Four people online. One of them is my phone. Fantastic. Okay, KAKAO. Out of curiosity, I hopped over to KAKAO. I read somewhere that KAKAO is doing fabulously well in terms of profits. Like the company, if you haven't invested, this is like whatever, Amazon back home, man. People who invested into KAKAO are becoming fabulously rich, I think, on stocks. I don't know how that exactly works, but KAKAO is marking profits that are like stupendously high, man. South Korea's largest messenger app operator, KAKAO Corp, reported record results last year, powered by roaring new businesses in taxi and mobile payment and steady revenue streams from its flagship messenger platform. Not to mention that, I guess the rights that they provide with KAKAO bikes and such, you know, it's probably minuscule, but the number of services that KAKAO itself provides is huge. They're also KAKAO Pay is fantastic to have. I have it installed on my phone. If you're an expat living in Korea, I would highly recommend getting that set up. It's not accepted everywhere, KAKAO Pay, but it's such a convenient way to pay without having to expose too much of your privacy in terms of like credit card. You know, if you don't want to store your credit card info on your phone, then KAKAO Pay works well. You have to have a Korean help you with that, but it's basically kind of like a bank. You can store some cash on your phone and then just go and use it at certain locations, not everywhere, but at certain places. Consolidated operating profit in the final quarter in 2019 surged to 79.4 billion won, which is about 67 million US dollars, from 4.29 billion won a year earlier. So that's a huge jump. Like they made 4 million won, 4 billion won in 2018, and in 2019 they made 75 billion more. Holy cow, that's a shitload of money. Sales jumped 28% over the year. Blah blah blah. I pulled up some nifty little earnings summary. This is a presentation. You can pick that up on a website, and it's provided in PDF, Excel, and this nifty little presentation here. You can look quarter on quarter, year on year, all the stuff that how KAKAO is doing, how they have been doing over the past years. Third quarter of 2018, blah 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 blah, and third quarter of 2020, and I guess they're predicting like a 50% jump in the first quarter of 2021 as well. Crazy. Here's the website where you can download all that stuff, information. I'm going to copy and paste it into the chat for those who give a damn. If you give a damn, then remember to subscribe to the channel. If you give a damn. This is like a flash, man. Just we're powering through it because it's we've got, what do we got? We got 10 minutes left, yo. 10 minutes to go, and there's still so much to go. KAKAO, we're past KAKAO. Skip KAKAO. We're done with the KAKAO. KAKAO earning. Okay, thank you, KAKAO. All right, let's get to the scandals, man. We're gonna start with McDonald's. Have you heard of McDonald's? Have you heard of that? If you haven't, let's have a read. This is by the Korea Post, November 6th. Okay. McDonald's headquarters probed over alleged hamburger disease case. If you eat that shit, stop it, man. Don't eat McDonald's. That's the grossest crap you can put into your body. Not to mention that it's just gross. Don't eat that stuff, man. Eat other stuff. Make your own hamburger. That's the best way. Make your own burger patties. It's the easiest damn thing you can make at home. You take some pork or beef, you mash it together with some chopped up onion. You throw in some salt, pepper, a little bit of egg to mix it and make it all stick together. You mush it up and throw it on a frying pan and you get yourself beef patties. Or if you have a barbecue grill, you grill it up on the barbecue grill. Dead easy. Going back to McDonald's. Prosecutors raided the headquarters of McDonald's Korea and raided McDonald's Korea in downtown Seoul over alleged hamburger disease, hemolytic uremic syndrome case. Never heard of it. In response to a civic group's accusation against the company, the Seoul Central District Prosecutor's Office office has executed a search and seizure warrant for the office of McDonald's Korea in Jungnong-gu, Seoul, it said on November 3rd. It was carried out following the allegations that McDonald's sold hamburgers with undercooked meat patties. Resulting in the so-called hemolytic uremic syndrome, HUS. Victims, which was sued by the victims in July 2017. So 3 years ago they were sued. 3 years later, they got raided. So in those 3 years, I guess a shitload of people got sick, or they stopped. Like, what happened over the past 3 years? No idea. Okay, but McDonald's, there you go. Don't eat that crap. It's bad for you, man. Go have some Burger King or make them at home. LG Chem joins hands with Neste, not to be confused with Nestle, because that's what I thought. Neste is actually it's a Finnish oil. Where the heck is it? Where did you go, Neste? Oh, Neste. Oh, Neste. Where's my Neste? Here's worldwide Neste. It's a Finnish oil producer. Okay. Neste, make your business more sustainable with us. Renewable road transport, blah blah blah. They refine oil in Finland. Very cool. Okay. Has signed a strategic partnership, with Finland's biodiesel company Neste to expand its bio-based, eco-friendly business, the company said on November 5th. Neste is a leading biodiesel company with its own process technology, and 80% of the company's operation profit is generally from biomaterials and eco-friendly products that utilize them. Under the MO, the two companies will actively cooperate in developing new products by seeking commercialization of eco-friendly products based on biomaterials and sharing information on global markets such as Asia and Europe. Fantastic. More bioproducts in South Korea. Good. I think this country could really clean up, man. Korea is so tight, it's so small. We could totally implement a very good grid of clean energy and just, running everything on electricity and not have to worry about the fumes. The fumes go somewhere else, from the factories that produce the electricity for us to use in electric cars and all that stuff. Yeah. All right. That's it. There's more scandals. Wait, let me just have a quick look here. Good news for Ulsan. Ulsan made headlines here again. Ulsan's making headlines all the time, man. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had the building burning down. We made headlines worldwide. Nobody got hurt, I think, in that building. I posted a couple of pictures and a short video of what the building looks like now. It's all good. Seul to begin operations of second crude oil land loading facility after investing $152 million. Seul led by CEO Hussein Al-Qahtani. Sorry, I've no idea how to pronounce like Arabic names. Not making fun of it, I just don't know how to pronounce it. I love the way it sounds though. Has built a second oil loading facility, number 2 SPM, at its Ulsan plant and start operation, the company said on November 3rd. I know where it is, man. I used to teach at Seul, and I remember talking to this guy, to the CEOs who were telling me that there were plans in the pipelines. They were talking to the government, and they were bidding against other companies trying to win over, the place, and Seul got it, man. And it was part of the greenbelt that was never to be touched. And yet, it has been touched. And now it's open for business, baby. The second oil loading facility, which was set up on the sea in front of Ulsan's new port, is equipped with an oil tanker, mooring facility, 44-inch diameter submarine, 3.2 kilometers. What is that? I have, okay. And a land-based 3 kilometers pipeline. So we got a pipeline in Ulsan. We didn't even know that. But that means there's jobs coming in. There's going to be jobs either for, I assume there's going to be like, foreign engineers flocking in again. I also heard somewhere that HHI has received some bids, some more contracts coming its way. Because over the past few years, China was stealing the contracts from Korea. Korea lost a lot of contracts on the shipbuilding front. But apparently, a lot of the countries that bought ships from China, made in China, ended up stranded in the middle of the ocean with things just crapping out on them and the ships having to haul ass back to South Korea for a fix-up. And so the word that I caught was that the companies who bought these ships from China finally gave up on that idea and just switched contracts back to South Korea because Korea makes shit better. I mean, Koreans are not perfect, but they're definitely better than China-made stuff. So there you go. Ulsan may be back on the rise, yo. President Moon says the Korean economy to get back on track by first half of 2021. President Moon Jae-in, Korean economy is in the recovery phase in a meeting with his senior secretary, blah, biddy, blue. If these efforts are combined to extend our success fighting virus, okay, blah, blah, blah. There is another article somewhere I read that like eight major banks predicted that Korean economy was going to shrink by like 0.4% or something like that. So I don't know. President Moon saying we're back on track. Biggest banks are saying we're moving in reverse. Who knows what's really happening? All right. Okie dokie. On to the news from the loose goose. Can you hear the tunes? Okay, here's some tunes, yo. Yeah, baby. It's a bit sexy porno music almost. All right. I don't know how many of you here follow K-pop. I personally don't, but this popped up in my feed, Quora feed. I've been on Quora for some time, and I cannot Quora on Quora because the app refuses to let me comment. I guess they think that my comments are no good, and so I have no idea why. Anyway, I got a Quora on Quora. Skip this ad. Why is this here? From about Red Velvet's Irene. You guys listen to Red Velvet? Red Velvet Irene is hot seat after apologizing over bullying scandal. So this young lady, the Red Velvet's, one of the Red Velvet's lead singers, I guess, which is a new band just started recently, hot on the block, apparently screamed her little behind off at her hairstylist. So Irene of K-pop girl group Red Velvet apologized over her bullying scandal involving her stylist, but some fans are demanding she quit the act. If Irene does not leave the band, the scandal will haunt Red Velvet and deal a critical blow to the band's image, the group's fan community DC inside Red Velvet said in a statement Thursday. Earlier Thursday, Red Velvet's leader admitted she had verbally attacked a stylist fashion editor during a recent filming and apologized. I sincerely apologize for hurting the stylist with my foolish attitude and indiscreet words and acts, she wrote on her Instagram. As I looked back upon time, I was ashamed of myself and once again felt how precious our staff members are. From now on, I will be more cautious in preventing the recurrence of an incident like this. These are really just empty words, right? Like this chick exploded on an older lady here for whatever reason. I could assume, I could see why. There's probably a lot of stress. I know that there is a lot of stress. I mean, I don't know, but I hear it, I see it. There's plenty of young celebrities who off themselves, and so this is no different. They're under humongous stress to perform, to look a certain way, and this chick just lost her shit, man. and blew up on this old lady, was probably like mothering her. Who knows? Don't do this, don't do that. You know, so anyway. But so the netizens are merciless, man. In Korea, the netizens are just notorious for pushing people over the edge. Just last year, I think. So basically, the netizens are like calling for her to step down, to get out of the team, you know, get your bags, baseball bags out of the corner and your skinny ass off the stage. And it's going to happen, probably. It's or she's gonna be taunted for a very, very long time. Last year, oh come on, what's happening here? Where is it? Jisoo of Blackpink gets backing of K-pop fans after Jimmy Kimmel's test of her English on his. What is this? Wait a minute. I gotta find this thing here. That ain't it. Not this fool. I don't care about this fella. Okay, you know what? I gotta check this, because I don't know where this article is. Last year, there was a young lady. She is an actress and singer, 25 years old. She stood up for women's rights. She talked about how K-pop stars and particularly young women here in South Korea are under so much pressure, are oftentimes sexually not abused, but taken advantage of, I guess. And so she was an outspoken young woman. Here we go. Let's hope that this okay. And what is this happening here? And I'm just trying to set up this stupid. Where's Jimmy Kimmel? I don't want Jimmy Kimmel. I don't care about Jimmy Kimmel. Stop showing me Jimmy Kimmel. And they found her dead in her apartment. Apparently, she allegedly has committed suicide, and so they found her in her apartment, dead, allegedly, as a result of a suicide. Oh, this is a pain in the arse. Okay, I'm having a hard time finding this here. Not finding. I found it. I'm just having a hard time adjusting the screen so it's visible. Okay, let's try to do this. Can we see this? Yeah. All right. Seuli's managed to discover her body at her home near Seoul after failing to reach her. Police said Seul had been grappling with severe depression. Seul debuted in 2009 with FX, which she left in 2015. She was known for speaking up for women's rights and had faced cyberbullying. Because, or as a result, police said the case is still under investigation. So basically, the girl is dead, a young girl is dead, supposedly, you know, offed herself as a result of depression, but the case is still under investigation. So I guess, in a way, you know, the official story is suicide, but who knows, right? Yeah, it's not uncommon for K-pop stars to take the fall or take the blame of things or other scandals. The last scandal, I think, was with a BTS member who was caught with drugs and receiving sexual favors from some other K-pop stars, female K-pop stars in his bar. He took the fall, but and there was no mention really in the media about any of the political figures that were involved and whom he was basically, catering to, so to speak, right? He had some big kahuna guys sitting around, kind of the mafias of the political or the business world. But he took the fall because he's the face on the front cover of the magazine, whereas these guys just work in the shadows. Damn, 35. Last one. Okay, this is South Korea's news headlines. I don't know if you heard of this, but many years ago, a South Korean man admitted he murdered 14 women and girls 3 decades ago in one of the country's most notorious serial killing cases. There are movies about this. I remember my wife telling me about this guy. That they never found him. He killed a bunch of women, 14 apparently, and they never found him. And he's released. A South Korean man admitted in court Monday that he murdered 14 women and girls 3 decades ago in one of the country's most notorious serial killing cases, and said he was surprised he wasn't caught earlier. Lee Chung-jae confessed to the killings in front of Yoon, the only person ever convicted of any of the murders. I'm a bit confused about the wording here. I didn't think the crimes would be buried forever, 57-year-old Mr. Lee told the court in the South Korean city Suwon. He confessed to the murders last year to the police, but this is the first time he has publicly discussed the killings. Okay. Yoon, whose full name is not being published due to a South Korean law that protects the privacy of suspects and criminals, was released in 2008 after spending 20 years in prison for the 1988 rape and murder of a 13-year-old girl. That murder is one of 10 killings that took place between 1986 and 1991, which are known as the Hwasong murders, after the area in which they took place. For decades, the 9 other murders went unsolved, and the cases were revisited in Memories of Murder, 2003 film by Parasite director. Then last year, police launched a probe after the DNA evidence connected Mr. Lee with at least some of the killings. Yoon, who had for years protested his innocence, was granted a retrial at which his lawyers are attempting to overturn his conviction. At Yoon's retrial Monday, which is ongoing, Mr. Lee said that when he was questioned by police at the time of the killings, he had a watch of one of the victims on his person. The police questioned him for not having his ID card on him, and he was set free soon after. I still don't understand why I wasn't a suspect, he said. The crimes happened around me, and I don't try hard to hide things, so I thought I would get caught easily. There were hundreds of police forces. I bumped into detectives all the time, but they always asked me about people around me. Okay. Mr. Lee said he didn't have a reason for killing the 13-year-old girl, and showed no emotion as he described how he killed her. It was an impulsive act, he said in a court. I heard from someone that a person with a disability was arrested, but I didn't know which one he was arrested. As for crimes, there it comes to the police. Okay, I'll post the link here. Copy paste if you want to read it. Because I'm over time. Damn it. Anyway, this dude, whose name is being protected, for what reason? I don't know. I guess you want to protect the name of a serial killer and a child rapist. I guess that's what's happening. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. That's it for today's with this morbid ending. Today's podcast ends with a morbid ending. Maybe not a great ending. Shoot. We'll try next week to have something more positive, more upbeat at the end. Just to let you know, if you are living and working in Korea, if you're thinking about expanding your grasp of the Korean economy, which is supposed to boom again, baby, so stick around for the next quarter, 2 quarters, at least until the first quarter of the 2021 year. and you would like to start your own Hagwon, like this, make sure to give me a holler. We'll set you up with a nice cushy school, with a nice cushy system. You can run, you can be your own boss, you can run and, you know, monetize yourself. We've got everything you need for that purpose. So drop me a holler, get in contact with me if you're interested in starting your own Hagwon, your own language school in South Korea. If you are interested in investing with us, for a shot right now here on this podcast. But if you are, then also contact me, let me know, and let's talk. In the meantime, thank you all for tuning in. Tastes so good, thanks a lot. And the person whose name is too long to pronounce in Korean, Kogi de... I can't even read it, it's too small on my screen. Sorry. Kogi. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new to the podcast, if you've never seen us, then make sure to rewatch the video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the little update. And if you didn't, then still like it. Because why the heck not? It's just a click of a button. Why not? Subscribe to the channel. Come back for more. I'm going to try to... I always try, and I never succeed, man. There's just never enough time. I need to get my beauty rest. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all have a fantastic Monday, fantastic rest of the day of the Monday today, and we will see you next week. Yeah, peace out, yo. Good night.